Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is verb phrase 203. And the verb phrase today is to knock up. All right, we're also going to cover, because with this verb phrase, there's some differences between British English and American English. So not only is this one good for, English of a second language students, ESL students, it might be good for some either British or Americans to realize some differences in uses, otherwise there could be some strange confusion. All right, anyway, let's take a look. So let's look at the first one. To make a woman pregnant. So if we say knock up, to make a woman pregnant, especially outside of marriage, it's considered a little bit rude, so you got to be careful, how you use it. It would not be appropriate to use this with a married woman. Like, you don't say the husband knocked up his wife. I don't know. You might hear it, but it's not really appropriate. But you hear it more if it's out of wedlock. Somebody got pregnant, or a girl got pregnant, of course, so outside of marriage. So that's another thing. Of course, it means to get pregnant. So a man knocks up a woman can't knock up a man, because a man cannot get pregnant. Okay, but anyway, let's take a look at the first example here. Now, this one I think is used in both American English and British English. There shouldn't be any confusion here. He knocked up his girlfriend. Again, it sounds a little rude, but it's common. You should know it. You would hear it a lot. And I'm sure you'll hear it a lot in TV shows and movies and so on. Jenny got knocked up and had a child out of wedlock. Yeah, you might hear it that way. All right, now, the second one here, again, this is British use, and this is the one that may sound strange to an American. It means to awaken by knocking on a door. So it makes perfect sense, but we don't use this in American English. It can also be used to go door to door to encourage voting on election day. All right, that's interesting too. We definitely don't use that as well. So again, this one is only British use. So you might hear it used this way. So here's the example. Go upstairs and knock up Tina. Okay, so this is where it would sound strange, of course. If you said this to an American, he like, huh? What did you say? What did you mean? What do you want me to do? Did I hear correctly? So be careful. Okay, and here they say they knocked up the neighborhood to get more votes out. Again, it would sound a bit strange to an American. Huh? They knocked up the neighborhood? Because we don't do this. Even though I could see where it makes perfect sense. You're knocking on a door. You're probably hitting up. So, all right, let's continue. To hit a ball back and forth before a tennis match. All right, this is another one that's just British use. The players were allowed to knock up for a few minutes before a match. Again, this sounds strange. In the U.S., we'd probably use a word like volley or just practice. They were practicing before a match, or we might use to volley. That's very, very common. But we would not say knock up. But again, it makes perfect sense, because you're hitting the ball, you're knocking it up. I can see why the British use this as a phrase, but we don't in the U.S., so it could cause confusion, sound weird to an American. If you heard a British person say it, or an ESL student who learned the British English and said it to an American, and may not understand why the American would be confused, though he may have a strange look on his face when you say this. All right, let's continue. Knock up prices to increase prices. I think this is more American. And here would be an example. They knocked up a lot of their prices. It just simply means they increased their prices due to inflation. Okay, and number 6 here. To assemble quickly, or prepare something, make something quickly. Yeah, I seen this, they were saying, to knock up some eggs or something. So we give the example here. You can knock me up some pancakes. Again, would sound strange to an American. Knock up pancakes. American would probably use words like whip. That's another way to say cook quickly. I'll just whip you up some pancakes. I'll whip you up some eggs. Or you could just say, prepare quickly or cook quickly. All of those would be fine. All right, so anyway, just be careful. So not only for ESL students, but even Americans or British that may not realize the difference between the two English languages here could cause confusion. Anyway, I hope you got it. I hope it was clear. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.